Hello, friends and followers. Well, yet another Drake transmitter video on the T4XB transmitter. So I'm still working on the PTO here and getting the fork lined up with the frequency, and I'm having some luck. So I'll show you how I'm doing it and the convoluted methodology I'm using. I guess it's not that convoluted, but you can see now that the PTO is, we're at the highest frequency now, and the fork is, it's a number of threads off of there or out there. Let's take a look at the fork and see where it is. Okay, yeah, the fork has a number of, okay, yeah, that's where it should be. So when this thing's at the highest frequency, the frequency of the PTO is the lowest. So at the top of the band edge of any band, the PTO is its lowest frequency. And it's low because the slug is into the coil in the PTO, and that makes the frequency go down. So this is about the movement you want to see, or about this position for the high side of the bands. And then when you move the low side of the band, here's what will happen. So I'm going to spin this thing to the low side, and you'll see the slug moving out, raising the frequency, and that will take us to the low side. So when the frequency raises, that's more of a difference, and that gives us like 11.1 minus the PTO frequency, which gives us a lower frequency. So that's how it works. Anyway, let's get to the real meat of the matter. So I've been looking at this thing, and the PTO frequency is what? It's 4 dot something to 5 dot something. Let's find out where that is here. Where's our PTO frequency here? Looking for it. I just can't memorize this for some reason. Just doesn't stick in my head. Anyway. Four dot something to 5 dot something. Well, that's operation, no wonder. Theory of operation. Single sideband. Push to talk, balance modulator. Okay, here, finally, sheesh. So this part right here. We're going from 4.955 to 5.455. So 4.955 megahertz to 5.4. This 4.9 will be your high frequency. So 4.9 is going to be when you're at the band edge at the very top. 5.4 is the bottom. So 4.9. So I have finally found a use for the little RTLSDR for tuning receivers. So here I got 4.955 in there, and there's the PTO right there. So if you look at this thing, then when we hit this 0 here on the bottom of the band, we should be at the highest PTO frequency, and that's around 5.4. And sure enough, there's a PTO there around 5.455, so that's where it should be. So as I move the frequency down, you can see the PTO frequency going down, and our scale here is going up in frequency. Okay, so you're saying, that's well and good, Jeff, but I don't care. How do I fix this? So say you've taken your PTO all apart and you're trying to calibrate it again. So what I found works is every megahertz here is about a turn of the every megahertz is about 4 turns of this dial. So 4 turns, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about a megahertz right there. Let's check it out. So right now let's go to 4.9. I'm sorry, it's a tenth of a megahertz. It's 10th. So let's go to 4.9. Oh, I lost my carrier. Lost everything here. Not sure why. because I shorted the thing out. There we go. Okay, so I've been running this thing on batteries. My AC4 power supply is all taken apart. I have no way to power this rig, so I've been I'm running this thing off a 5-volt power supply. So I have this little 5-volt power supply throwing 5 volts into the PTO's power input, and that works great. So that's how I'm testing this thing. Okay. So anyway, back to our discussion. So we want to say that for every 1/10 of a megahertz, it's 4 turns. Let's go to a 1/10 of a megahertz here. Let's go to 5. Okay, there's 5 right there. Now if I turn this 4 times, I should get to 5.1, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're right smack at 5.1. I don't know if Drake planned that, but whatever. So now, if you want to get this thing lined up right, here's what you do. I'm going to screw this thing up again, so let's screw it up. I got it working right now, but let's break it again. So somehow this thing got all messed up last night. I'm not sure if I did it or it was like that, but this little fork here came off of the track when I hit the stop. The fork came off the track. So I'm not sure why it worked that way, how it worked or why, but it did. So anyway, I'm going to misalign this again. And boy, I hate doing this as I got it working, but I'm going to show people how to fix this. So I'm going to take the stop pin out and move it a bit. Okay, now we're beyond the stop, so now I can break it. So I'm going to take this pin till it drops out. Goes off the track. So you'll see the pin going in here, the fork as they say, and it's going to get all forked up. So we're going to take this fork off the threaded worm gear. There's the worm gear right there. We're looking at the back of it. And let's keep going back with the fork. And we're going to drop it off. Okay, so now we're dropped off, and now we're in trouble because I can't go forward. I've broken it again. And this is where I was this morning. So now we can see our frequency is at about 4.61. We want to get this thing up to 4.955 for the high side. So I can never find this stuff when I'm talking here. Anyway, we want to get it to 4.955. So for 4.955, we need it to be on 0 for that. So first, I'm going to take this thing to 0 where it should go. So for the top of the band edge, 4.955 is top of the band edge. So first you dial up to the top of the band edge, and that would be right here. So this is the top of the band edge, and at this top here, you want your frequency to be at 4.955. Okay, so what do we have here? Right now we're at 4.8. We want to go to 4.955. So if I touch the little bar here and get it to kind of line up, there. So you can see it's kind of wiggly here. It'll move around, but we're basically at 4.67. 4.77 is 4 turns. So let's figure this out. We want to go, we have 4 turns per 1/10. So we're at here. We're a little more than halfway. So if we did 2 turns, click, click, we get to 4.7 roughly. 4 more turns, and 6 turns, 4.8. Okay, so that's going to be 2 turns. 4 turns is 6 turns. And then 4 more is 10 turns. And then we want to go 2 more. 11, 12. So about 12 turns. maybe a tad less, maybe like 11 3/4 turns. Okay, so here's the interesting part. So now we have to take this thing back 11.5 turns from 0. So now we're at 0 state. We're at the top of the band, and we want to go backwards 11.5 turns. Okay, so I know this is strange, but bear with me. So get it so it's lined up, and I had a little plastic window here that was in there somewhere. I don't know where it went. Anyway, just look at this thing and make sure it's pretty much lined up on top. And that looks about right. Okay. So now we want to go back 11 3/4 turns. So we begin this operation. So there's 1, 2, and then we stopped. So now it's 2, going on to 3 here. Undo the stop and keep going. Okay, undo the stop. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did I say? 11 3/4. 11 3/4. What about there? Now, all you do now is hold the little tail, hold the slug, and get the slug lined up on the thread. So it's going to start threading, okay? So kind of give it a little push until it threads. And then we're going to wind it back. It should work. It should be exactly on almost, okay? So now we're going to make it on the threads, and I'll start spinning this guy a little bit until it threads in. Okay, the other way, let's see. Spin it this way. I can feel it threading. Okay, it's threaded in. So now we just, hopefully it worked. And we're going to hit the stop. So now we're going to try to thread the 0 here. Going to go through that, hit the stop, click. We're going to release the stop again and go through it. Okay, now we're through the stop, and it might be pretty close now, so let's take a look. We're going to head up here to our top of the band edge, and it should be pretty close. What's our little scope say here? Oh, we're not doing too well here, so there's 4955. And where are we here? Well, we went about a turn too far. So let's go back here to get it right. We went 11 3/4 turns, so we're going to go. Okay, there's about, so I would say 11 turns. 11 turns is it. So let's redo it. So now we're going to go back and get to pop off again. We hit the stop, so we're going to release the stop and turn it some more. There it is. So it looks like 11 turns might be it. And maybe this is true for all these things. I don't know. I don't think so, just for this one, because these are going to be made all by hand. Okay, we've hit the end. So we want to be 11 turns out, and I wasn't counting. Darn it. Okay, so I gotta go back. Gotta go back to where I was and go 11 turns back. Okay, so this is where I want to be. I'm going to hit the stop. Gonna go to here, right to the top of the band, and make sure it's level. That's level. Now 11 turns back. Let's see. 1, 2, hit stop. 1, 2. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 exactly. Okay, we're gonna line up the little PTO ferrite core here and start cranking it 11 the other way. Well, it doesn't matter now. We start cranking it. So it's threaded. Just crank it now until we hit the stop and then see what's accurate. There's the stop. Release the stop. And keep cranking and see what it does. Okay, there's the band edge coming up on the upper band. Let's see if it works. Oh, I'm still off. I'm still off a bit. So I had it pretty perfect. That's almost a full turn. I'm going to say 10 1/4 turns now. Let's go back and get it. Boy, I hit it perfect. Let's go 10 1/4 turn and see what that does. 10 1/4 turns. Okay, I'm disconnected now. I'm going to go back and calibrate it 10 1/4 turns back. Okay, here I am. Get that lined up. Let's go back 10 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 1/4. And I didn't hit my stop. I'm not sure why. That's disconcerting. So it makes me think this thing is like goofed up or slipping or something. That is really disturbing. Well, looks like I'm in the wrong spot. I'm going to go back up here and check the spot, check the stop here. It should be right smack. Oh, the stop's, oh, it's hung up. No, it's working. Yep, there it is. Okay. Let's go back to the band edge. Okay, go back to the band edge. Okay, we're at the edge now. Upper band edge. Go back 10 1/4. 1, 2. There's a stop. That's what I wanted to see. Undoing the stop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 1/4. Okay, let's thread the baby up. Light pressure on it. Spin it up. And now we just spin it and see if it's accurate. Hit the stop. Pull the stop in. Go up a little bit. See what happens. There's our upper band edge. Come on. We got no power. I got no birdie here. Let's see, where is it? It's right there. Oh, I'm getting a lot worse at this, right? So that was way screwed up. All right, there's the band edge. Let me figure this out again. That's the band edge. And our oscillator's at where? We're at 4.9. 4.9. And I want to go to 4.955. Oh, we're at 4.8. No, we're at 4.9. Oh, I see. That's good. Oh, we're pretty close. Let's see, 4.9. So how many turns am I off? 1 turn, 2 turns. I'm like 2 turns off. So is it 8 turns? Let's see. Is it 8 turns? Let's go back. And we'll click it off the stop here again. Take it off track. Okay, we're off track. I'm going to come back to the band edge. There's a stop. And okay, there's the band edge again, upper band edge. Looks about straight, I suppose. Okay, let's go back 8 turns. 1, 2, we'll hit the stop. There's the stop. Release the stop. 3 turns, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That seems wrong. Okay, but let's put it back in. Okay, let's just spin it up. See where it goes. Click. Hit the stop again. Release the stop. Anyway, you can see this is tedious and error prone, but this is how you can do it without taking apart the whole mechanism, mucking around with everything. It's like, who wants to do that? Okay. So, but it does take time. Come on. Don't see a thing. Okay, so I'm going the wrong way. I actually need to put in more turns, less. So I tried 12 turns before, and that worked pretty well. Let's do 12 turns again. Okay, 12 turns it is. There's my stop. Anyway, by now, you know how to do this. Okay, it's off the track. Off the track, we go back to our band edge now, high band edge. There's the stop. Release the stop, go beyond the stop. I don't know how this thing got screwed up. I have no idea. I didn't take it apart, so. Alright, there's the band edge, right about there, top band edge. And we lined up. I suppose it's about right. Okay, let's go back 12 turns from there. So let's go back. There's 1, 2. Hit stop. Okay. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 on the nose. Let's do our threading. And if you get the threading wrong, that can screw you up. So you want to make sure it starts threading right away. Okay, it should thread right there. Spin it a little bit. All right, we're threaded. Let's go forward now. And there's the stop. And so this was 12 turns back. There she is. Where are we at? Look at that, people. We're pretty damn close. So that might be good enough like that. I think that's it. So it's about 12 turns, at least on my radio. So now you know how to do this, right? You know it takes a long time. That's a little bit off, but I wish I could find the plastic window that I can put in there and see how it looks. But of course it's a mess around here, right? Can't find it. It's probably on the floor. No, it's not. The keyboard's on the floor. Alrighty then. Well, let's try tracking all the way to the low side of the band here. So the low side of the band should be 5, 4, 5, 5. Let's go down to the low side. And you can watch the thing grind along in here. Okay, where we at? So that should be 5, 4, 5, 5. Right about there should be 5, 4, 5, 5. Where are we at here? Look at that, look at that. 5, 4, 5, 5. It looks good, right? There it is. So it's lower in the band. Yeah, let's see if we can do it by sight here. Let's go to the high end and just look at the frequency. The high end is what, 5.855? 5.855. 5.955 is the high end. 4.955 is the high end. So 4.955. Let's take it to 4.955. 4.955. That's actually where I have it set, right there. So listen for the heterodyne. We should be right on. All right, let's look at the indicator. Looks good to me. It might be a hair low, but I don't think I can make it any better. Maybe that's the way it should be, I don't know. But then again, I don't have this cover on the whole way. I guess I should put it back on and put the spring back on and see how it looks. So, do I want to put the cover back on? Yeah, I can do that. Let's shove this baby back on here. Actually, I'm going to clean this off. Alright, well, you see how to do it. I hope you enjoyed this. It's laborious. What did it take? It took a half an hour. But that's how to calibrate your Drake PTO with the scale without taking it all apart and having a bad day. Alright, so don't take it apart. Just do what I'm doing here and use some type of frequency standard and you'll get through it. Alright, so hopefully this helps you people out there from pulling out what little hair you have left. Thanks for watching and have a great day.